Trayvon Connor, and I'm the Mentorship Committee Chair and Mr. Collegiate 100.
Okay, so what is Collegiate 100?
Collegiate 100 is a mentorship organization that was started as a subsidiary of 100 Black Men of America. And so when they had a chapter here in Montgomery, they decided to charter a collegiate chapter here at ASU.
Okay. What in the message? Oh, Lydia, why did you join Collegiate 100?
I joined Collegiate 100 because I had a lot of past experiences with 100 Black men back in my hometown of Mobile. They have a mentorship program for high school students during the summer where they teach them how to manage themselves during an internship or like how to prepare for applying for colleges. And they also gave me a scholarship to even help me come here to ASU. So once I was exposed to them there, I decided to look for a collegiate chapter, and ASU had one.
So, what made How does Collegiate 100 bring an impact to Alabama State University?
I believe Collegiate 100 brings a big impact to ASU because one, we help students with like their professional portfolio. Like last semester, we had a resume and we had a LinkedIn workshop. Another big way we impact the campus is by giving students the opportunities to go out into the community and reach out to local high schools. So like usually twice a month we go down to Jefferson Davis High School. We go speak to the kids. Sometimes we do mock interviews to kind of help them for after they graduate. And a lot of students seem to like that and even having the opportunity to help those kids in high school.
And you said you're Mr. Collegiate 100. So what are your duties as Mr. Collegiate 100?
As Mr. Collegiate 100, I basically serve as the face of the organization on campus, as well as I help represent us during the Miss ASU coronations.
Got you. And what in the message for Collegiate 100 stands out to you personally?
I mean, the message as a whole with Collegiate 100, that being what they see is what they will be, because I mean, I think that's extremely true, and I'm a product of 100 Black Men of America, so what I saw is what I'm striving to become.
What event would you say Collegiate 100 do you remember the most of?
Remember the most? I would say probably my first event hosting would be like the resume and LinkedIn workshop. That really resonated with me because not only did Collegiate 100 give me the platform to even host that event to help the student body here at ASU with their resumes, but it was just nice having like that family feel to help me put on the event, like people getting pizza, people help setting up the tables and the chairs and just inviting everyone out on campus. So that was the most memorable for me.
I noticed you mentioned something about, getting students ready or 100 men ready to, go out in the workforce, LinkedIn workshops, resumes. How do you feel that helps diversity within some of these Fortune 500 companies?
I think it goes a very long way. A lot of the times here at ASU, a lot of students, especially if they're not in the business program, they don't take the time out to go to career services and get like critiqued on their resume. So a lot of the time you have a lot of high school formatted resumes getting applied to like these Fortune 500 companies. And when it goes into their resume reader system, it's not done by a person, it's done by a robot. So if the robot sees that your resume isn't formatted correctly, you automatically get thrown out of the pile since there's such competitive roles. So I think events like that can really help bridge the gap in America.
And overall, what impact are you leaving with Collegiate 100 as Mr. Collegiate 100 right now?
The impact I'm looking to lead is to make a lasting connection with our public high schools, especially in NPS since we are in the city, and to just help Collegiate 100 members as well as the greater student body secure jobs as they graduate.
All right, and last question. Collegiate 100 is something on campus that is not as much known as it should be. What do you feel that you guys can do to kind of shine a light on Collegiate 100 because it's actually getting people ready for the workforce, the real world?
I think Collegiate 100 has made a lot of progress, especially in this recent year with our president Devontae Watson. We started having a Collegiate 100 newsletter, and just overall on campus, you ask around, people are starting to know what Collegiate 100 is. So we're definitely heading in the right direction. But I think in order to take that next leap, we need to start hosting more events on campus so that we're more visible to the students. And when more and more students see us, then we can make a bigger and bigger impact on the community.
Gotcha. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, one more question. So what goes into your application of getting into Collegiate 100?
Okay, so I'm not positive on the letter recommendation portion, but I believe you have to have at least one. Uh, to be a member, you have to submit your resume to us, and then after that, we'll have an interview period. And then once you pass through the interview period, then it's kind of like you're halfway in, halfway out. It's a probationary period. So if we see that you have a record of coming to events and participating in group dialogue and meetings, then you will officially become a member of our chapter.
What's your name?
My name is Dylan Stallworth.
And how long have you been in Collegiate 100?
I've been in Collegiate 100 for about 3 years now.
Have you held any positions within Collegiate 100 for those 3 years?
Well, this past year, my junior year, I was the Mr. Collegiate 100 for the chapter here at Alabama State University. But now I'm just a general member my senior year. So.
Gotcha. And I know we talked a little bit off camera about some of the things that you did with Collegiate 100. You said you joined your sophomore year.
Correct, yeah.
May I ask why?
Well, Collegiate 100, I had experiences with the 100 Black Men of America in high school, and I wanted to continue that foundation of mentorship. And so once I matriculated to Alabama State, I wanted to really find the Collegiate 100 and share my interest of joining. Collegiate 100 is a premier organization here on this campus and really any campus in regards to professional and personal development. So I know that's what I needed, and that's why I really sought out to join the Collegiate 100 organization here.
And when you first joined, did you have a mentor in Collegiate 100?
Yeah. So I've had plenty of mentors, of course, our advisors, Kim Smith to be specific, but I had an older cousin and some older friends that were a part of Collegiate 100, Tyler Rice, to name one that was very crucial, one of my reasons to joining Collegiate 100, just based off the mentorship and advice that he offered me. And of course, the other senior members in the organization as well. It was pretty much an organization full of student leaders, so it made the most sense to join.
How do you feel that Collegiate 100 helps the African American culture for males?
I think Collegiate 100 really sets an example and a foundation for African American males to really go by. Within our community, you don't really see a lot of proper male representation. And I think the Collegiate 100 really provides an opportunity for Black men such as myself to see Black men in our communities that are leaders, that are pioneers, innovators, and give us something to give us a blueprint, if you will, to kind of follow. So I think the organization does a great job with providing African American males, specifically young African American males, mentors and role models.
So taking from what you've learned in Collegiate 100, how do you take that and take it back to the community of Mobile?
So my learnings from Collegiate 100 is really to, not only be a leader in all spaces that you're in or try to be a leader, but, set a foundation, set an example. I'm 22 years old and I graduate in May. And, once I graduate, I'll eventually go back to Mobile. Of course, I'll travel, but when I do, I know exactly the type of image that is needed to be portrayed within my communities, specifically Mobile and the Pritchard area of Alabama. And, just letting the young youth in my community see that there are opportunities for success. There are opportunities for leadership on a collegiate level and on a professional level, and even within your community. And just, leading by example and showing, that's what I believe. My leadership style is leading by example. And I believe if I can do that and bring it back to my community, youth will be encouraged because they can't be what they don't see, right? And so if they can see it, they can be it. If they can see it, they can believe it. And so I think just awareness is probably the biggest thing that I can provide to my community in regards to being an example for young Black men.
Collegiate 100 is pretty much known statewide around HBCUs.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel like it impacts each HBCU's campus?
Yeah, so I mean, to my knowledge, Collegiate 100 is our premier organization, like I said before, on pretty much every HBCU campus. And the title of a Collegiate 100 member really holds a lot of weight. I can't tell you the amount of times that I've been at conferences and different events where I've worn my Collegiate 100 pen and another member has came up to me. Um, and so it really just goes to show the quality of individuals that are a part of this organization on the collegiate level is, it's seen throughout all campuses. Student leaders, typically a Collegiate 100 member is a student leader on their campus and in various roles, and I've seen that uh, throughout my 3 years a part of the collegiate organization, and so it holds a lot of weight. I'm very honored to be a part of the Collegiate 100 at my university and to continue to uplift the brand and image of our collegiate chapter. But yeah, it's an honor. It's an honor.
And last question, how do you feel that Collegiate 100 helped you get to your position now as SGA president of Alabama State University?
Well, I think Collegiate 100 really, like I said before, it sets a standard of professionalism that I think has helped me tremendously throughout my role as an SGA president in regards to how to show up to meetings, how to conduct meetings, how to handle business, really networking across different individuals across the campus and in their own spaces. To really just be concise, networking, professionalism, and then just the ultimate collectively just being a well-rounded individual. I think Collegiate 100 really has a strong focus on that.
My name is Martavius Young, and my position is a historian.
Okay. So what are your responsibilities as the historian for Collegiate 100?
So essentially, what I do is I organize all of the organization's social media. I handle all of their promotional material, and then when it comes down to the bulletin board or any just the historical data of Collegiate 100, that's basically what I do.
Okay, you mentioned social media.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes down to social media, how do you feel like you get the word out for people to actually join Collegiate 100?
So realistically, when it comes down to joining Collegiate 100, that really goes through our membership director. And so they send everything to me, and then as far as the requirements and everything as far as eligibility. And I basically take that information, create a flyer, send that information out, try to send it out to as far as wide as the student body goes, through email, through social media, obviously Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And those are usually the platforms that we try to go through. Right now, we just created a Twitter account, which not Twitter, but TikTok account, which we're gonna start using to try to promote the organization, put out our information, and get our members, increase our members.
All right, and roughly, how many members would you say is in Collegiate 100 right now?
Oof. I would roughly say around 40 to 50 members.
Gotcha. And the main reason for this interview, why did you join Collegiate 100?
So the reason why I joined Collegiate 100 was because I understood or I saw the 100 Black men, which is what we fall under as Collegiate 100. And so I understood that with 100 Black men, they do a lot of things for African American males in the community as far as advocating and creating policies that benefit the African Americans. And that's one of the reasons why I really wanted to be a part of Collegiate 100. This was the first step to getting to the 100 Black men. I saw that also on the campus that there's a lot of things that we could do more for our African American males, and as far as mentoring and leading them. My background is personally, I was a sergeant in the Marine Corps. And so I had the opportunity to meet and mentor young African American males to get them to different positions and, success, period. And so being a part of Collegiate 100, I wanted to take that and take all of that experience that I had from the military and the Marine Corps and bring that to Collegiate 100.
Gotcha. So going forward, you mentioned, being in the Marine Corps.
Mm-hmm.
How was that transition coming from the Marine Corps actually going to a collegiate area and actually being in Collegiate 100?
There's a big difference. I would say that transition was probably one of the. It was a lot. It took a lot for me it was kind of like a culture shock. So just being able to come from an environment where everything was structured, you did what you was told and you did it just because somebody was senior appointed to you, to come into a college university where everything is kind of more like, all right, you do it on your own pace. And the difference between the two that I definitely saw was the commitment. But with Collegiate 100, I see that there is a lot of things that they do where the members have to be committed. In order to even be a part of the organization, you have to want to be a part. You have to want to give. You have to want to serve. And so that's what a lot of the members with Collegiate 100 has. That's what makes it really a different organization, is because they want to. Is you don't have to sign a contract. You don't have to, you're not obligated to. And so you do it because they want to. And that's one of the biggest transitions that I saw. One of the reasons why I actually did become a member for Collegiate 100, because a lot of the members, like the mandatory 3 hours, even though it's mandatory, people go out and they volunteer anyway. They do the work. They want to be involved with the community, going out to these different high schools to go do the volunteer work to mentor younger generations. And so that's one of the things that Collegiate 100 definitely does. That's in line with the military, is that there's a certain level of commitment and dedication to actually serving the community, serving the people that we have around the area.